Hi everyone. So I called Lindsay earlier today. I met with a distributor at lunch, and I had one of my distributors with me when I met with her. And then my distributor came over, and we went over um, some Instagram training stuff. And then she left, and then I was thinking I got really, really, really stressed out because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you all right now. I have not enrolled anyone this month at all yet. And what is it, like the 17th?
Yep.
Cool. Great. It's the 17th. We're halfway through the month, more than halfway through the month, and I've done nothing, basically. And I'm feeling a little stressed about that. I'm feeling anxious about it. And Pipey's face. and it's so cute and distracting.
It's ridiculous.
And then it's so bad. I called Lindsay and I told her that I was stressed and feeling anxious and that I haven't done anything. Not that I haven't done anything, but I even had someone that reached out to me for information on the cleanse and wanted more information on it and had to reach back out to me again and say, hey, I'm still waiting for that information whenever you can send it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like how horrible of a distributor am I that someone's waiting on me for information for days. So we all are human and we do all forget to follow up with people and all that stuff. And I thought when I called Lindsay, I asked her if we could do a training without even really telling her why I wanted to do one. But I know for me, when I'm feeling like this and I'm feeling like I haven't been doing all the right things and all of that, personally, I like to pour into my team and help to pump them up because that pumps me right back up and gets me back on track.
Yeah.
And Lindsay was really helpful when I called her.
I don't remember exactly what I said. I know I just said, it happens. And I think that's a good, teaching moment for us too, as leaders that, we're definitely not always perfect. And Ashley and I know that about each other, I think more than anybody else does, but we post positive things and do this, but we have really bad days too. And, that's okay. The part that matters is what you do about it afterwards. And, just try to be better. That's all you can do. We're human and just try to be better. That's all.
Yeah, I think reaching out to someone and talking to them and letting them know, don't feel ashamed of the fact that you're going through a slump or you haven't done enough or that your business isn't where you want it to be. Don't be ashamed and just do something about it. And I know sometimes that's like the hard part is getting out of your funk enough to admit that you're not doing anything or not. Maybe you still are doing stuff. I'm still doing stuff. I'm just not doing enough stuff, like following up with people. I'm still posting and I'm still following up with some people, just not all of them. But I think talking to someone about it will help you feel a lot better about it. So whether that's your upline or a sideline sister or, I think someone in the business can really probably relate to you best about it and understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's important too, as far as follow-ups, so you don't forget. Anytime you talk to anybody, like carry around a little notebook with you, write their name down and the product they were interested in. That way you can go back and look at your messages. Or you don't have to go back and look at your messages to, prompt you about who you've talked to. And we always say follow up Friday, but I think that's really important. Like dedicate your Friday if you can, even if it's just an hour, half an hour, whatever you have. They both start with F, follow up Friday. And I think that makes it easy to remember, hey, it's Friday. I need to follow up with people.
Yeah.
Notebook, look at everybody's names, send them a quick message. And this is only for people that you've already talked to about products. You definitely don't want to cold open a conversation with somebody that you barely know about products. This is strictly for people that have asked about specific things before, have commented and you've, oh, I'm not ready to buy now or whatever. I like to send voice messages. I think it makes it a lot more personal. Say, hey, just want to let you know I'm putting in some orders right now. It's what I do on Fridays or whatever you want to say.
I love that one.
Yeah. I think that's a good one because it kind of creates like, oh, she's putting orders in now. Might as well get it in
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And I think the voice message is very important too because that, again, creates that more personal touch. And I think people are more likely to respond to that than just a message about a product. I know I would for sure because I think that's it's just a lot nicer to get a voice message from somebody. So I just say that and say, you know, I still have a spot open left for HSN or whatever product that person was interested in. Are you ready to get your order in? I can help you right now. Like just something super simple like that. It doesn't have to be, you know, 10 pages, and definitely shouldn't be.
Right. I think another thing about it is if you look at Messenger, when you send someone a message on Messenger, you can tell if they've read it or not. If you send someone a voice message, they can't like preview it. They can't like look at the first 10 words to see what they say or however many words fit on the screen without clicking on it. They have to click on it. They have to hear what you had to say in order to know what's on there. And then you know that they read it. you know they heard you if they clicked it.
That's a good way to look at that too. I never thought about that before.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing that one of the reasons why I wanted to film this is because, one, I needed to pour into you guys a little bit so I could pour into myself so that I can get back on track. Two, part of the reason I'm so freaked out about not working very hard this month is really important, and I wanted to kind of share it with everyone. So this season, like our busy season is basically from probably late February, I would say, until about right now when school starts in August. And once school starts in August, people feel like summer's over. They feel like, oh, okay, well, like they're back in the swing of things. People are, I don't know. It's just, it changes your dynamic. People, I've already seen, okay, in my pantry right now, I have pumpkin spice Cheerios. Like it's time for all of the fall stuff. The fall stuff is coming out right now. I've seen pumpkin spice stuff all over the place.
Like 1,000,000 degrees outside.
It is 1,000,000 degrees outside. I'm still, it's mermaid life. I'm still, you know, playing summer all year long if I can. But the biggest thing is for right now, what you do right now, we're going downhill right now in terms of how easy it is to work the business. And school starts, sports start back up, stuff like that. It's harder to get in touch with people. It's harder to get people to do parties. It's harder to work yourself because life happens. And if we have to work really hard right now, because what we do right now is going to impact what happens in November and December, because you don't generally, you don't just friend someone, a random person on social media or out in the street somewhere, and then they automatically order from you like within the next week. It's not normally how it happens. It does happen, and I get super excited whenever it does, but that's not the norm. And the norm is that we build a relationship with someone, they see our products, they see the results, and then they reach out maybe we're in a conversation with them and they're like, you know, I was looking at that, what is that? And they start talking to you about it. Then they have to decide what the right product is for them. Then they have to wait until they have enough money and all those things. Like this takes time. And that process, I feel like usually is a couple months long. Mm-hmm. So if you really want to have an awesome fall and winter season with this business, then you have to start working hard now. So that's why I was getting a little bit freaked out earlier today, because I remember what happened last winter. I had a bad winter last winter. For no one's fault, not the company's fault, no, not our product's fault. It was 100% Ashley's fault that she had a bad winter. So I know that I don't want to go through that again. Like I don't want my check to drop by 50% this winter. I really don't. I want my check to grow this winter, and checks can grow this winter. Mine can, yours can, everyone's can. We just have to work now. Yeah. So if you're struggling with stressing out, you need a to-do list, anything like that, ask me, ask Lindsay. We each have some to-do lists and can give you some things to do. I know when I'm feeling the way I am right now, one of the things I like to do is open up my to-do list, pick one item, and just start doing it, because at least I'm getting something productive done towards my business. And when Lindsay brought up her little booklet thing about writing someone down and checking your booklet so you don't have to go through your messages, I love that. That has been my number one item on my to-do list the past 2 days, and I haven't done it, which is that also the number one thing for me that makes the biggest difference in how many distributors and customers I sign is how up to date are my potentials lists. So if someone talks to me like this person did and I don't put them in my list, it means I'm not going to look at their name to follow up with them. I'm not going to even remember that they exist and are interested, and they're going to fall off the face of the earth in Ashley's eyes. I have to have them in my notebook, and I have to consistently be looking at it updating my notebook, and following up with the people who are in it. So yeah, I think I'm a paper person. I organize my potentials on paper. So for me, that's important. I need to find a gel in my chest.
Yeah, my shoulder's really bright red too.
I was weeding today for 4 hours in the yard. I didn't put sunscreen on for it. Okay, well, I hope you guys found this helpful. Do you have anything else, Lindsay?
I don't think so. I think that was pretty good. And just, if you guys do have questions and you do feel like you're down, don't feel like you can't come to us for any reason, like if you're ashamed. I know Ashley mentioned that earlier, but I definitely want to make sure you understand that, because we get it. We both have really bad weeks sometimes, and sometimes we have really bad months, and sometimes we have really good months, and it's a cycle. We're human. That's what happens, and you just got to get through it, and that's what we're here for, to help you get through it.
Exactly. And for those of you who are on Belinda's team, you guys can come to either one of us also. We're here to talk to anyone. And I know that Belinda, I'm sure, feels exactly the same as we do, because we've all been here long enough to have gone through all this before. And I think that it's a good thing that we're talking about it and admitting that it's something that just happens in the business. It's a cycle. We have our ups, we have our downs. It's real life, just like everything else is. You just kind of have to recognize it, see that it's happening, and then do something about it. I think the first step is talking to someone, and then go from there. All right, well, I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you all have a great evening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.